There is no freedom, there is no choice without restriction. There is no choice without restriction. Freedom is hell. Yeah, I'm in thoughts, and what happens to the people who live in a so-called freedom? What happens to people, our superstars? Aren't they corrupted? They have everything, yet they seem to struggle to live a meaningful life behind the facade. And you don't have to look at P. Diddy or Kanye West. You can look to anyone. There is only very few that maintain a grounded approach to life, who are even able to make meaningful choices when they have too much freedom, who are able to do nothing in the face of too many opportunities. Because life is a process of listening to the silence, to opening up for the nothingness. And this is taken away by distraction. And if you want to live a hedonistic lifestyle, it might not be the worst idea. And you're free to do so. How do we live in freedom? See, our brain is not only a pattern recognition machine, it's not only a reality creating machine because it predicts, and our sensory input just has a veto right. It can say, no, what you predict is wrong. Look a little bit more closely, be a little bit more aware, and then you change your stupid prejudiced prediction. The brain is also a chemistry factory, a place that is basically enjoying to be flooded with juicy juices and, with serotonin, dopamine, and cannabinoids. It's a reward system in the brain that is a result of hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, and we're adapted to a hostile world where instant gratification is impossible. But now we're living in another world, and there is new challenges coming with that. So it's easy to get instant gratification in so many ways, which means an instant dopamine release. You can go and buy spiritual products. You can go and buy sweets, alcohol, tobacco, other substances that immediately release dopamine in your brain. Coffee. So this is it's a difficult question of how hedonistic, how much pursuit of happiness in a sense of this form of body chemistry do we pursue. But there is many different ways of creating this form of satisfaction in the brain. So there is trends of people going on sexual retention, who living for long periods of times without any sexual activity. There is tendencies of people who are fastening both substances as well as food. And this behavior leads to a kind of dopamine detox. You could also fasten from social media, because this mobile phone that I'm holding in my hand here has strong control over your dopamine release as well as artificial intelligence, and now even AGI in combination with quantum computing, collecting all data that is available about you and processing it, creating your desires, nudging your desires, knowing what you want before you know what you want, and conditionally supplying you with it. So, who controls your dopamine? An algorithm, an artificial intelligence, your intimate partner, people who control you. How do we deal with the possibility to instant gratification, to instant gratify our needs? We can stimulate ourselves at any time. We might have an intimate partner, and why shouldn't we be together all the time? Why shouldn't we eat chocolate all the time? Why shouldn't we drink all the time? Why shouldn't we smoke all the time? Why should we stay away from all this for as long as we can? See, the dopamine threshold in our brain adapts. So the more we stimulate ourselves, the more stimulation we need to have the same result. In other words, when you retreat from the world in all thinkable forms, just waking up in the morning, seeing the sun going up, and hearing a bird singing a song will create um, a strong sense of fulfillment and happiness in you when you're sensitive to it. But when you just think about when can I smoke my next cigarette, when do I get my next sexual validation, when can I eat these favorite sweets of mine, when? Yes, we're talking about the problem of addiction. What is addiction and what is control over the freedom that we have? How much order, how much external force do we need? How much pressure do we need? How much pressure can we put on ourselves? When does it become when does it become masochistic? And this is the question about self-parenting. Can you be a strict father to yourself that can protect you and in the right moment push you into the cold? But can you also be a mother to yourself, a surrounding, nourishing, loving, unconditionally loving spirit that opens the door for you in the right moment and lets you in from the cold, that forgives you, that loves you the way you are? But this, what I just said, is just cliche. It's on us to interpret, remix, rethink the roles of parenting and how we lead ourselves. I believe when we parent children, we can teach them by force, in a way of telling them what they have to do and what is right or wrong. I believe we have to lead them by example. But if you take away real children out of the equation and you look at yourself, then you are the child and you parent yourself. This is called individuation. So, how much order do we need? How much control? How much no? And how much yes?